Hello everybody, welcome back to another video here on my channel. Today is hopefully a very exciting and also pretty short video, even though we literally leave in exactly a week, as in 7 days we will be getting up at 5, maybe 6 a.m. to hit the road to leave. So we'll be packed up, the whole house will be packed up before. So really we only have around 6 days max. I am going to be redoing my whole TBR bookcase. For the most part, this is all my TBR except for this top row, but I do have some extras. I want to do an unhaul video as well, and also there are some books that since I packed up at the end of 2023, I think it was actually the beginning of this year, I went ahead and packed up every single book that I've read from 2023 on back. So some of these books have just been kind of sitting around. I need to move them. And even though we're gonna pack up, I'm going to redo my whole bookcase. That's what I have planned to do today. We are just going to be reorganizing my bookcase, and you basically get to come along with me. I've never done one of these videos before, but I'm hoping to do a full reorganizing my dream library type video in the future whenever we figure out our exact location that we're going to be living in. Let me move out of the way. First off, I'm gonna take the chair away so there's a little bit more space. This is what we're working with. We got a lot stacked up here. We have a few stacked up here. I'm leaving these exactly the way they are, at least the actual books, not the two that are stacked up right here, the two Hardy Boys. We have to go through this, figure out what we're going to get rid of. I need to reorganize, and also I'm just tired of looking at this. I don't care if we're leaving in a week. I'm just tired of looking at this. I want something new. Let's go ahead and jump into every single bit of that. Here's what we're working with. Very crazy, I know. I actually have them stacked by size. Minus these are just my box set of series. I just wanted to keep them together. So over here we have big hardbacks, which also does Game of Thrones. It's book 2. That paperback is the same size as these hardbacks. These are the super tiny mass paperback, I think is what they're called. We have our normal size paperbacks, our large paperbacks, our medium size paperbacks, I guess. There's 3 different sizes between these two. They're a little bit bigger than these ones, but a little bit smaller than these. And then our smaller hardbacks. These are the piles I'm going with. I gotta figure something out. Also, this is my get rid of. I'm getting rid of a lot of books. Let me clean off my bookcase just a little bit, wipe it down, and then I will come back to you and we will start organizing them.
Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things.
Here's an in-depth tour of my 2 shelves. It's going to be super big, super long video right here, just in stuff. I'm just kidding. It's not very many books. We have all of these for books that are Ella Hildebrand. I usually try and read hers, even though I don't really like her, I think, that much as an author. I'm trying to get through them, at least read them, and then if I want to get rid of them later. Those are the 4 that I still have to tackle. Then we have my Cinder Chronicles, I do believe it's called. I only have 3 of the books. I still need, I think, novellas. Then we have Archer's Voice that I still have to read, Red Queen and Glass Sword. Those are the only 2 books of that series I have. The entire series, except for 1 book that just recently came out, not too long ago, maybe a year ago max, of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I really need to read the series. Then over here, I just decided to put all my box collection. So we have, of course, my Percy Jackson series, the Caraval trilogy, and then also the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. So we have Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and then Clockwork Princess. Down on this bottom shelf, I'm a little sad that the Game of Thrones, I had 1 book too many, or at least too thick to be part of this shelf, but that's okay. okay. I think it worked out pretty decent since this is the third book. I don't really like how these books are kind of separated, but because of the height, I'd rather do height more than anything. So first off, we have V.E. Schwab, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and then my favorite trilogy that I'm missing one book. This is by Kenneth Opel. This is Airborne Skybreaker. I have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, the second book in the Game of Thrones, One of Us is Lying, the Hunger Games trilogy, which I'm missing, the fourth book that just came out a few years ago. I've been trying to find it in a hardcover and I have not succeeded. These are my Nicholas Sparks books that I have left. I have around 20 or so. I think I have majority of his books. These last couple years I've kind of stopped reading them, probably because I found more Book Talk BookTube books, but I will circle back to these and I've been slowly tackling them off. These are the last 5, so I'm excited about that. Then we have the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. Like I said, the Game of Thrones here. We have book 3, then book 4 and 5. Over here is Where the Crawdads Sing, and then The Store by Bentley Little. This is a thriller. The Hobbit, It Starts With Us and It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and then the first book in the Ravenhood trilogy, I do believe it's called. This is Flock. I don't have any of the other ones. Here's how my bookcase turned out. I'm so excited about this, even though I have to rip it apart in a few days. Nonetheless, I'm very excited that I got to rearrange and also that I get to unhaul some books, which right now I would like to go over. Let's just give a minute for my TBR bookcase. I'm sorry it's not very aesthetic, and I'm also sorry it's not like everybody else's bookcases, but I'm working with what I have. I'm planning before we leave Vegas to actually do a My Free Little Library video. It'll be my very first video I've ever actually filmed. I used to love going in Wisconsin and back home to My Free Little Libraries. I've only went to one out here and only once or twice, not very often. It was also on base. So I'm hoping to take every single one of these books and donate them to a My Free Little Library. See what also is around Vegas. I feel like it would be a good opportunity and also a good like hoorah before we leave. The very first thing I'm going to be donating to a My Free Little Library is this bookmark. I actually found this in one of the Game of Thrones books. I don't know exactly which one, but it's a wiener dog and it says this book is a wiener. I don't need these types of bookmarks. I make my own, or I made my own years ago, which is my grandmother's funeral flowers. I actually pressed them and then went ahead and shoved them through a laminator. So that's my bookmarks I use, and that's going to be the first thing I'm getting rid of. The first book that I'm unhauling is Once Upon a River by Diane Stutterfield, I do believe. I never took the stickers off of this. I got this for free from the Airman's Attic on base, and I thought I maybe wanted to read it because I've seen a lot of people read it, but me personally, I just don't think it sounds that interesting, or right now I'm just not in the mood for it, so I think I'm just going to completely donate it since I got it for free. I don't need to make a profit off of it. Next I have Pearl Harbor's Final Warning by Valerie J. Anderson. I actually read this. I skimmed a lot of this because I was in the mood for it, and then all of a sudden I got out of the mood for it and I almost didn't want to finish it, which is kind of sad. I do believe this is a first published book, or one of the few, and I also found this on base in the Airman's Attic, so I'm just going to donate it. Next I have Girl in Pieces. I ended up rating this like 3 stars. I read it. I kind of enjoyed some parts of it, but a lot of it I just didn't care about. This is by Kathleen Glasgow. I'm sure you've seen this already multiple times, maybe in paperback form, but I ended up finding this at Desert Industries for a few bucks. Read it, didn't really care that much about it, so I'm getting rid of it. I'm also getting rid of Karen M. McManus's You'll Be the Death of Me. I do have the book One of Us is Lying, and I want to get to this. I originally picked this up. It was a standalone. I just don't think honestly I'm going to ever pick it up and read it. I never feel like I want to read it, and I also almost feel the same way with One of Us is Lying, but I'm more intrigued to try that one out, so I think this one, for the sake of trying to unload some of the books, I think this one will be the one to go. Also, maybe because it's not as common as One of Us is Lying, maybe somebody will be very excited because they haven't read it. That's my hopeful thinking. Next, I'm getting rid of a big series that I've been trying to read so many different times. I picked it up, I tried starting it, I couldn't get into it. I think originally on Wattpad I did end up reading the first book. It's been so many years. I just don't feel the need to read a fanfic, especially of One Direction, no offense. I just don't think I'm going to ever get to this, and I've tried so many times. I'm getting rid of finally the entire After series. I wish I could tie this up and then donate it to a My Free Little Library in one bundle, basically. That way everybody can take every single piece of this. I hope that this all goes to one person, and I hope somebody is happy with the series. I just don't think I'm ever going to get to it. Also, each book is like 500 or so pages. First we have After, then After We Collided, After We Fell, After Ever Happy, and finally Before. I'm honestly feeling very happy about getting rid of them. I feel relieved that I never have to try and put it back on a TBR, and I never have to try and physically read them ever again. If I ever really wanted to tackle the series, I could either get the newer versions that might be easier to read because they're not so thick. I do believe they're a lot thinner, or if I ever get a Kindle or maybe the Kindle Unlimited app, maybe I could read it on there. Maybe it would work a lot better. It might remind me of reading Wattpad on my phone in 2013. Next, I have 2 Hardy Boys books. These are the newer editions. I'm trying to collect, as you can see, the editions that look like this. We just have number 29, The Secret of the Lost Tunnel, and then number 30, The Whale and Siren Mystery. I actually ended up at an antique store getting both of these, switched them out, so now these are going bye-bye. Then I have Stephen King's Cell. As much as I loved this book last year, I actually rated this 5 stars. I am getting rid of this book only because my mom actually has majority of Stephen King's books. She has a lot of first editions, especially when he had his website where you could get his books like as first editions a long time ago. And basically she has all of them. She has the original cover. This is like a mass market paperback. I also don't like, since it came out in 05 or around 05, I don't like the cell phone on the cover. That's not accurate. I'm gonna get rid of this just because I don't care much for the style, this cover, the size, everything like that. If I ever want to circle back to this book, I can always read her version. Next, I'm also getting rid of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is book 5 in the series. I have been switching out for years now paperbacks to hardcovers because I ended up having 4 hardcovers and I like them a little bit more. I finally found the Order of the Phoenix in a hardcover, brand new condition, so I switched it out and now I only have, I do believe, the first book and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So the Sorcerer's Stone and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And then our final 3 books, I'm getting rid of 3 books from Ellen Hilderbrand. We have The Identicals, 28 Summers, and also A Summer Affair. I hated every single one of these, I feel like. The Identicals, I think I rated like 4 stars. The other ones were like 2 or 3 stars. Not very good. I just, like I said, don't really vibe with her books very much. So I'm getting rid of all of these as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope my little TBR bookcase was a little bit fun to watch. Also with my unhaul of books, I'm unhauling 16 books, and as long as I can make it happen, I'm going to be doing a My Free Little Library video, so stay tuned for that. Going to be getting rid of all of these books as well, and then hopefully getting new ones. Like I said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see y'all in another video here on my channel, and God bless.